OK, so I've got a question for you. Who had their parliamentary credit card suspended because they owed more than £4,000 in unauthorised payments and was described by one of her colleagues as having a reputation for being useless? Yes, you guessed it. Our Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, who, between herself and Sir Keir Starmer, have literally made it a virtue of making themselves deeply unpopular. They promised not to raise taxes on working people. Only no one appears to be able to define just what that actually means. What is a working person?
What is a working person?
Well, a working person...
Simon Cowell?
Well, a working person is someone who works their living...
I've got that.
...and uses our public services. The person I have in mind...
Simon Cowell.
The person I have in my mind, Nick, when I say working people, is people who earn their living, rely on our services, and don't really have the ability to write a cheque when they get into trouble. So the sort of people I'm meeting pretty well every day now.
Landlord a working person then, Mr. Murray?
Well, it depends where people earn their money from, and that's what the focus of our commitment is around working people.
I think you know you're a very bright bloke. You know how a landlord makes his or her money. Is a landlord a working person?
What we're saying is that we want to protect working people, and working people...
No, I'm sorry, I don't know. We've had a few technical problems. Perhaps you didn't hear the question. It's a yes or no, sir. Is a landlord a working person?
Well, it depends how people earn their money. The focus is on people who go out to work to earn their money.
Are you having a problem hearing me?
5 million small business owners in this country. Are they working people?
Yeah. Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know how the shadow Deputy Prime Minister can stand there with a straight face when it was the small businesses, the working people of this country that paid the price of them crashing the economy.
Ah, right. So they're not answering the question. That explains it. Not. It's laughable. The definition seems to be getting narrower, and in any case, who made them the arbiters for where the parameters begin and end in what makes someone a working person? This takes me back to Sir Keir's inability to define a woman and whether one can have a penis or not.
Woman can have a penis.
Nick, I'm not... I don't think we can conduct this debate with, you know...
Sorry, have I offended you in some way?
No, it's just... I just...
A woman can have a penis.
I don't think that discussing this issue in this way helps anyone in the long run.
I mean, if somebody would have told you that that would be a question or an issue 10 years ago, you'd have laughed at them, wouldn't you? You'd have laughed in their face. Oh, dear. The Labour Party are quite quickly finding out that the guff that they spouted in opposition, which went largely unchallenged by many in the established media, doesn't work when you're in power. Now, whilst GB News has challenged narratives from all parties throughout, Sir Keir Starmer, in my view, was given the green light by most of the other broadcasters. But at least on this matter, we are united in our confusion. Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves promised not to raise taxes on working people, but what constitute as a working person. Am I one? And somebody finally tells Sir Keir Starmer that nobody writes cheques anymore. Right, well, joining me now, Labour Special Advisor and columnist Paul Richards. Paul, are you a working person?
Well, I am, and unfortunately, I'm not a special advisor anymore, but I was once upon a time. And
we'll correct that.
I think, I mean, most people know what a working person is because they are one. They go out to work, and you're going to ask me what's a working person. My definition is somebody who's 2 paychecks away from disaster, basically somebody who doesn't have a load of assets, who doesn't have a load of stored up wealth, who doesn't have homes on different continents, and has to go out every day and get the money to put the food on the table. That's who we're talking about. It's a simple definition. And
simple, Paul. No, I can't let you get away with that. That's not simple. That's your definition, and that's the problem, because somehow the parameters of what constitutes a working person in your mind is that they're 2 paychecks away from bankruptcy or whatever it is. But I don't think that's a working person. And other people might see a working person as something else. Just because I might not be 2 paychecks away from bankruptcy doesn't mean I'm now not a working person. That doesn't make any sense.
Well,
that's why people are confused.
I think the good news is that this will be revealed on Wednesday. We've only got 4 days to wait now because the budget will tell us who's going to be taxed more and who isn't. But, in very general terms, there is a super class of people who have multiple homes, who don't go out to an office or a factory or foundry every day, but have enormous wealth. And there's more of them than ever before, and they own more of the nation's wealth than ever before and the world's wealth. And these people don't pay their fair share of taxes. That's who isn't a working person.
Well,
pretty much everybody else. And even if they get money from owning a flat, or most of us have perhaps got stocks and shares, and certainly tied up with our pension plans and so on. That's not who we're talking about. We're talking about the people who just have sort of the people in succession. Those kind of people who just live a different life to the rest of us.
What about landlords then? Because this is confusing. Because I'm a landlord, I'm an accidental landlord. I only have one property. I actually live in a rented property, but I rent my own property out because, that's just the way the land lies. So does that mean that I'm now no longer a working person?
No, I don't think that's fair at all. James Murray didn't answer the question. But I think somebody who is a landlord and for whatever reason might have inherited a property or anything else, I think they count as a working person. Of course, I don't think that's what we're talking about.
But they don't earn their money on that asset. Sorry, but they don't earn their money on that asset through going to work every day.
But I think a lot of people in that situation are not full-time professional landlords. They are people who, for, as you say, whatever reason, by accident or inheritance or anything else, or luck, or even it's a pension plan, happen to own property. But that's not what we're talking about here. And like I say, on Wednesday we'll see. It's about how you start to repair the economy by putting taxes where they should fall, so people can pay fair taxes, but not hammer the people who've been hammered so hard, certainly in the trust budget and over the last 14 years as well. But all will be revealed on Wednesday, Nana. All will be revealed.
So a professional landlord who works full-time is not a working person? See, that's the thing, isn't it? I think Keir Starmer will regret trying to create a definition for working person so that he can... A lot of people, very quickly, I'll finish with this then, a lot of people think that they're just trying to change the definition so they can raise taxes on people who they've felt don't fall in that definition under their definition of it.
But the vast majority of people we're talking about go out to work, come home, pay the bills, and do worry about sudden spikes in the gas bill or food prices, or do worry about whether they get money for the school uniforms and so on. That's who we're talking about, who are working, and that's the people watching this who don't have assets, don't have multiple homes, don't have wealth stashed away in Monaco, don't have yachts. That's what we're talking about, just ordinary working people. And that's a reasonable turn of phrase. Different economists may have different ways of defining it, but we all know what we're talking about.
Perhaps he should have said that we all raise taxes on the super rich, because that would make more sense. Paul Richards, a pleasure as ever.